When you do a
Yes,
show
sir.
like Numbers, I remember watching Numbers, and I remember thinking, I could never do this. I could never play this part. I could never. The words he's saying, the amount of dialogue he has. You're doing how many episodes a year? 22.
Yeah.
How much dialogue did you have per episode on average?
A lot, but you know, it was the job. You know, that was
It was
the
the
job.
job. I mean, but like, listen to me. Are you you have photographic memory?
No,
You
no.
don't.
I'm maybe on some level I do.
How
I mean,
long does it take you to learn your lines?
so for Numbers, what happened was we started doing the show, and you know, I'd go home, I'd learn the night before, wake up the next morning, and it was such complicated jargon, what I was speaking, that I'd forget it. So I'd be in the shower going, holy crap, I stayed up for 3 hours straight working on these lines and I can't remember them. And there were days on set where I had like mini crises, you know, in the beginning. And two things had to happen. One, I had to stop being afraid of not knowing the lines. My fear of not getting them, you know this, with heavy dialogue, the more afraid you are of not knowing it, the less chance you're going to have to know it. Like you've got to not be afraid. And I was really afraid. So I had to drop that.
How do you drop that? How do you just drop that?
I came up with a plan, but it wasn't a plan that everybody liked. I will say that.
What was the plan?
Okay. So I was like, I went to the producers and I said, the genius of the character is catching up with the capabilities of the actor. And I was like, and I don't want you guys to like rewrite anything because I'm stupid. You know, I don't want you to have to do that. One of the things I asked them to do was they would like give me like a whole long speech. And in the speech, I'd have the same complicated word 8 times within that speech. So let's say the word is algorithm. Okay. I'd have to say algorithm 8 times within that speech. And the problem, the way my brain works, at least, is like I'd get to the 3rd algorithm and think it was the 6th. You know what I mean? And skip over a bunch of dialogue as a result. I'd fuck up.
Right. So
I asked them, I said, if there's any way to not do that, to like, if, you know, to reword it, get your thesaurus out and like, what's another word for algorithm? Like, call it a formula, call it whatever, you know. And they did. That was really nice. It was the only ask I had for them to.
That's not big of an ask.
No.
I would have said cue cards, earwig. That's all I asked.
Well, so then what I did, I said, and here's the deal. I'm going to come in not knowing them. And they were like, what? And I was like, I'm going to come in not knowing my lines. And they were not happy with that. And I said, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come in. I'm going to not know them at all. I'm then going to spend the 20 minutes that it takes for you to set up the first shot after rehearsal with our script supervisor. And if she can't do it, we got to get somebody who can. Anyone who's willing to on set will do it with me. And I'm going to cram them. I'm just going to cram the shit out of them. Pressure's on. I got 150 people waiting on me to learn these lines. That's how I'm going to learn these lines.
Off.
And so that's how we did it for 6 years. And you know, first takes sucked. You know, it cost a couple takes. You know, I would fuck up. But then by the 3rd take, I get it. And what was great about it was you're watching me kind of get it as I'm performing. And it looks like to the audience sees a mathematician coming up with the ideas as he's saying it.
As you're thinking of the lines.
The actor remembering his lines. So it looks spontaneous. And so it started to work. And I started to make sure that first takes were better, second takes. We moved so fast in that show. We ended up doing 10-hour days most of the time, 9 pages in 10 hours. Like we rocked that show. And so
Unbelievable.
it got easier for me, got easier for everybody. And then no one cared. Everybody was like, fine, if this is the way we're doing it, if this is the way
Could you
we're
do
doing
it now? If Christopher Nolan said, I just wrote a paragraph for you, can you do it?
No way. See, on numbers, unfortunately or fortunately, numbers became, you do 22 episodes a year, it becomes monotonous, it becomes a job. I'm not saying that you don't keep the work honest or that there isn't passion behind it, but at a certain point, you just go, wow, I got to get the job done. So I may not be as concerned with how I perform this scene as I am with getting the lines right.
Right.